criticism. Today we are going to examine Plato's attack on poetry. In the last class, we discussed about Plato's view on art. He believed that ideas are ultimate reality and that art is twice removed from reality. Hence, he says that it is not capable of molding a good citizen. That was where we stopped in the last class. So we have seen that his approach to art is very much critical towards it. Now let us see in detail his views on poetry. The title, his attack on poetry itself, tells his attitude. We have seen that Plato judged all human activity by the above mentioned criteria. That is, 1. Molding the character of the individual, promote the well-being of the state. So these are the two criteria with which Plato judged all human activity. If poetry or if literature is not able to mold the character of the individual, Plato will reject it. If poetry is not able to promote the well-being of the state, he will reject it. So judging from this twin criteria, he rejects poetry. His first attack is already set. That is, 1. It is twice removed from reality. It takes us away from reality. That is the first attack. The next 3 attacks can be given as follows. 2. Poetic inspiration. 2. Emotional appeal of poetry. Next, its non-moral character. Let us examine each one in detail. 1. Not 1 exactly. 2. See, the first one is not explained as part of the attack on poetry. It should be understood from his attitude to poetry or his view on art. When you are writing answer to this particular question, Plato's attack on poetry, the first one should be art is twice removed from reality. So poetic inspiration. Plato says that poetry is not the result of deep thought. Instead, it is a result of sudden inspiration. Consider philosophy. It is the result of deep thought. Meanwhile, poetry is created by sudden impulse. So, it cannot be trusted. So, poetry cannot guide a person to be an ideal citizen. See, poetic inspiration. See, he is comparing poetry with philosophy. Philosophy is the result of deep thought. But he says that poetry is inspired actually. It is created by sudden impulse. So you cannot trust it. That is his idea behind the poetic inspiration. Then the next criticism is emotional appeal of poetry. Plato's next charge is that poetry arises from its appeal to emotions. Poetry affects emotions, not our intelligence. It appeals the heart, not the brain. According to Plato, emotions cannot be trusted. Overpowering of emotions will hold the reason as prisoner. Plato gives examples from the tragedies of that era. They are full of wailing and weeping. It is meant to move the audience emotionally. If we allow ourselves to be moved by emotions more, we will not be able to control our passions when we face them in real life, Plato says. So that is his criticism. Poetry appeals our emotions. Emotions cannot be trusted. So therefore, poetry should be discarded. That is his uh, logic. Then non-moral character. He says that poetry lacks morality. It, consider, it considers virtue and vice alike. This is an observation regarding drama or tragedy. Uh, Tragedies are also considered as poetry in that period. So, in dramas, sometimes good fails and evil succeeds without any moral concern. It will pass a bad message to the public. People may think that evil doings, if undetected, is good. The treatment of gods and heroes in drama is also observed as objectionable by Plato. Heroes in dramas exhibit uncontrollable passions of all kinds: pride, anger, grief, etc. Gods are presented as revengeful and guilty. They are not morally good. So, the non-moral character lacks morality. It will pass bad message to the public. Tragedies presents good fails often and evil succeeds. Such things may pass a bad message to the public that evil doings, if undetected, is good. So these are the uh, four uh, of attacks on poetry by Plato. That is, one, it is twice removed from reality. Two, poetic inspiration. Three, emotional appeal. Then it's non-moral character. So that's all about it, and we will move on to the function of poetry in the next class. Thank you.